Okay, so let us officially start at 7:03 p.m. meeting of the Keep Hubbardston Beautiful Committee. We'll keep it conversational since there are but two of us. Now let me bring you up to speed with what's going on now. A very brief history. We started in 2018. It was a grassroots effort of volunteers with no money and who just, we did things to publicize it, like we got donations of people's political signs, their yard signs, and then we covered them up with white vinyl and wrote townwide cleanup on them with markers. And that first year, I think we pulled about a ton of garbage off the street. And it was good because we had a lot of fresh faces, a lot of young people in their 20s were involved, and it was very successful. The next year was less so because a lot of those people who had joined on decided not to continue. And we still did the fundraising, we still did the event, we had t-shirts, but in 2019 it poured. It was bad weather. So we had some participation, but it was a lot less jolly than it had been the year before. And then in 2020,
COVID.
we didn't have it. 2021 was our best year. We had about, I think 2 tons of trash come in. All this time, we did our majority of fundraising in 2018. We did some in 2019, did none in 2020, and then in 2021, we just used what funding we had left in our coffers, which wasn't very much. So as a result, we are starting with $0. So I'm gonna skip ahead to the finance. So we have nothing in our account. In April, as you know, the ARPA fund application was rejected by the select board. And the head of the select board at the time, Dan Galanti, said he felt bad because he had said earlier this year that money would not be a problem. So I didn't do any fundraising, and then when it became a problem, it was too late to do it. After, I can't remember, maybe in May, I came before the board again and was awarded $1,000, but that was all I heard of it. I didn't hear about any account being opened or a revolving account under Conservation Commission, so I don't know if they remember saying it. Nothing in writing, nothing
It's on the
codified.
video.
Hello.
Hi.
It is on the video, so there is proof that it happened, but I don't know where it is. And I don't know if it's in jeopardy because of the latest bill that is due for Quabbin.
Kelly Pomprion, our town accountant, would probably know where it is.
You spell her last name, please? I don't know her.
Pontbriand.
Could you, I'm sorry, can you read it again?
Kelly, Kelly Pomprion.
Pomprion?
Yeah, she's in Florida, but she works remotely.
So do I, except I work remotely to Florida and I'm in Massachusetts. Okay. Now,
You can go on the town website and get her email address as town accountant.
oh,
Yeah.
excellent. So we're starting out with a base of 0, perhaps 1,000. Our expenses. Now, every year the committee owes $100 to Keep Massachusetts Beautiful, because we are part of a larger group, Keep Massachusetts Beautiful, Keep America Beautiful. So that's a fixed expense, $100 every year. The yard signs have been falling apart, have been missing, and have become unusable over the years. So if we update what we have now, which is about 75 signs left, the stickers to update the signs will cost $360. If we purchased 150 new yard signs, that is $850 plus shipping. Monty
What do
Tech,
the ad signs do?
they advertise the event.
Just the, okay.
So, you might remember they're 18 by 24 white signs with green print. There's a Keep Hubbardston Beautiful logo on it, and it says townwide cleanup this day, this time, this place, and then website.
So is this, all this trash that's collected, they bring and you put it in a dumpster?
Yes,
Okay, so they're getting rid of trash that they normally would get rid of by
No,
their trash
not,
people?
absolutely not. The thing is that people go out on the
Roads.
streets and the roads and they collect trash that other people have thrown away. So they're not bringing their household trash, they're
Yeah.
bringing stuff that they've
From
picked
the
up.
roads.
Yep.
That's a
I don't
great
know where
thing.
that thing went. Let me go down on record by saying I broke a town pen. Sorry, town. But yes, so that's the big draw, is that a lot of people do pick up trash on the side of the road, and on trails, and at the rec field, and they do that anyway. But this gives them a single location to dump it every year that they can see the level rising. And it's a community event, so we get a lot of people coming in who are very happy to see that the physical proof that trash is being taken away from where it shouldn't be and disposed of. Speaking of the dumpster, 2018, 19, and 21 has been a donation by Pleasant View Waste Disposal out of, I think they're out of Clinton. And that's been very good. However, this year the driver came a couple hours after the event opened. And he did come and he did collect the trash, but it was very tense for those 2 hours where the volunteers are wondering, what do we do with all this trash? Are they coming to pick it up? So that could be a future expense of actually paying for a dumpster to, in fact, get on their radar as a paying customer. Other solutions before this big budget problem were to approach the Board of Health, as other towns do, to have the Board of Health pay for it.
I think that, you know, if you went to Harvey or Republic or any other trash hauler in town, they probably would, I would think that you'd have an opportunity to talk to them about providing a truck there for so many hours.
I think that larger companies would probably have a line item or a budget item set aside for charity work like this. I don't know for sure, but I think that the man who runs Pleasant View I think he does this for some publicity. I don't know if because he's.
Some of our trash haulers that could use a lot of good
Yeah.
publicity.
Absolutely. So we need to talk with him to find out if he wants to continue to donate, and if so, how can we make it so that it's a lock on his schedule. So let's just say, so we've got $100 a year for dues. Let's just say we're gonna buy new signs, $850. And then the t-shirts or safety vests for visibility. I know that when I came before the select board, it was something of a contentious point that they
Is
thought.
there a liability if somebody gets hit while they're on the road?
No, that wasn't it at all. One of the select board members said that they had heard people complaining that t-shirts were being purchased and it was a frivolous purchase. What do we need them for? What do we need them for is that they're bright orange and they visibly show.
Run them over while they're picking
Yeah,
up
we don't want
trash.
our volunteers being run over. So, safety vests, I priced out some super cheap ones. 100 of them cost $322 plus shipping, and custom-made t-shirts, 100 of those cost $400. And either of those could be evergreens, so if they don't get used that one year, they get used another year. So let's just say, let's see, the safety vests are $322, the t-shirts are $400, so let's say $350 plus $850, 1,200, so $1,300 for spending for 2023. I've heard that fundraising is a great way to go. I am too busy now, and I'm not good at fundraising. I'm not good at asking people to give things away for free, and it's just not something I'm good at. I know it's very effective. I know that Katie does a great job with her fundraising, and she's got this crop of businesses who continually donate to
Put the signs
things.
up.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, now that I'm not a freelancer anymore, I don't have the time to go out and cultivate those relationships, or to follow up with the rewards, like the signage, the advertising. And I don't have the time during business hours to go visit people to let them know I exist and to ask for
Why
money.
don't we make this a community event and have Katie run it?
Why indeed, that's a good idea. That's an excellent idea.
Well, I'm on my ideas. This is not my idea, this is my daughter's idea, Barbara, who loves environmental things like this, and frankly, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be here. Her thoughts were, kids today, especially in high school, need to do community service. And they need that so that their resumes look good, so they get into better colleges because they have done community service and it's not just all about grades. And she says that if we were to engage Quabbin with this in terms of making it well known to all of those students, that this would be community service, and help them not just participate that day, but be part of the committee and take this so it lasts a long time.
So, high school students being part of the committee?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would work year to year.
Sure.
So, which would also mean that every year after, as the students age out or get bored or get busy with other things, every year we'd have to replenish the
Yep,
committee.
but every year they need to
That's
apply
true.
for college, and every year you're gonna have a new group. But if you've got freshmen and they were there for 3 years, they have friends in other classes, and she just said she thinks that a strong connection with the high school would greatly help in terms of making an awareness of environmental concerns in everyone's community, and it might even spread to the Quabbin region, and it would do a regional type of thing where the committee would just not have, maybe it wouldn't be just a Hubbardston committee, maybe it would be a Quabbin community environmental committee.
Does she
It's tough to
live-
get bigger when you don't have it running
Yeah.
the way you'd like it now.
My immediate concern is that I need people to do the organizational work.
You'd find high school kids that could do
No,
that.
I mean, I need someone else to find them. I'm trying, my goal is to no longer be the driving force of this, both because I don't have enough time now, because I have that full-time job, and also because it's discouraging to come before the town with a community event like this where people are donating time to do work, and the town was very reluctant to fund it, support it. That was the main reason why I formed a town committee, was that I believed that it would ensure a budget, but I was very wrong about that. And it so far hasn't provided the benefits that I was hoping.
Is it always done on Earth Day?
Third weekend in April, yes.
That's Earth Day.
But if someone else wanted to do it and take it over and do it a different day, there's nothing saying that you couldn't do that. But the real, as you can see by the empty chairs, the biggest problem is getting people involved in an organizational capacity. And I love this idea about getting the high school students because they're young and they're passionate and they wanna make a
enthusiastic,
difference.
yeah, and they wanna save the planet too.
Right, but you need to have a leader to tell them this is what you do and this is how we're organizing, and you need money. So certainly kids are great at fundraising.
Why wouldn't that be considered a community event and fall under Katie Young's event?
I get
process?
the idea that that Hubbardston celebration is more about parties and fairs and activities and contests. I don't see, she doesn't do something like this, but that's not saying that she couldn't.
Right.
That being said, I don't think she pulls a salary for doing this, so adding.
She pulls a salary from the town for
Oh.
being, I think, don't quote me on that, cause I'll tell you what I know and what I don't know. I don't know that for sure, but I believe that there is, that she's a paid position. You could check on it.
Well, even if it is a paid position, it's a paid position for the management of the town. It's not a paid position to take on this whole other added responsibility.
Well, if her,
Which-
you know, if you go to the
yeah.
select board with the need to put this in hands and give them your budget
Yeah.
and give them the connection with Quabbin, or even if we did it even with the connection with high school students in Hubbardston. This is community service, and why wouldn't that be something the town of Hubbardston would be really interested in, other than other just fun events? You can make this fun. You know, I just think that it's important enough to do, and it's gonna die a slow death,
Well, it's gotta be pretty quick.
quick death.
But it's really, it bothers me a lot because like your daughter, like you, I think it's very important. I've seen people come back year after year with both with the trash that they've collected and thrown away for the cleanup, but also bringing deposit bottles for the Girl Scouts and
Mhm.
electronic waste for the Boy Scouts.
So, she's involved with both those groups, I believe.
She's a son in Boy Scouts and she's a Girl Scout leader.
So they get involved to the point where they get a financial interest in getting the cans and all of that.
Right, however, they could do their thing with or without the townwide cleanup.
Yep.
The reason why it's all grouped together is because when I started it, I was heavily involved in Boy Scouts, and I know the Girl Scouts exist, so I thought, let's all do this at once, and that way it's just this one-stop shop.
Great idea,
Thanks.
worked well.
Now, I really would like to see this continue, and I like your ideas about the, getting the younger kids in, but I also like your ideas about, maybe Katie taking over, cause this is something she excels at.
He's good at it, yeah, and you know, I think you'd have to probably go and get approval from the select board to see if they would undertake that, include that as part of the town. You know, if you got the $1,000 for the town money, then it is really a town event. It's always been a town event.
Mhm.
So, if they want to, let them make the decision, let the select board make the decision on whether they wanna continue this as a town event. Because that's really in their wheelhouse as to whether this continues as a town event or, you know, also funding it, maybe some private, maybe some public. I think that, you know, it probably needs, and they may be able to put out, I know you've been doing this yourself, but they may be able to put out a request for people who would serve on the committee.
Yeah.
Don't know. You know who is really interested in this type of thing, and I don't know whether he would, Jim Kraskowskis is Anthony Liquors, and he runs an event once a year, and it's called Pick Up the Nip.
Yeah, he did that on Saturday.
Yeah. And he pays a nickel a nip. And you would be just, it would be unbelievable how many nips get picked up and clean Gardner. You know, similar type of thing.
Have you met the lady who runs that?
No.
She's a machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's retired though, so she can devote a lot of time to it. But she's a real pistol. She's got a lot of
Who's
energy.
that?
I can't remember her name.
From Anthony's Liquors?
No, she's a community member.
Oh.
That she started the Gardner Litter Angels, and I joined her group to go clean up a new property for the North Quabbin Land Trust, and she instigated that whole nip return thing. And it's not something that Anthony's Liquors gets reimbursed by the state. It's a donation because nip bottles are non-refundable.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they just buy them outright.
No, he's paying.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that involved in the community.
Yep.
And he's a good business owner, and he cares a lot about Gardner, and he does this out of the goodness of his heart and his pocketbook.
He does, and
yeah.
it's very popular.
Yeah.
So, any questions from the audience?
I don't know. You know, I'm not here in April, so it's not something that, you know, I can be involved with. But I wanted to come and listen to, see how many people would come and cheer them on so that it would continue. But
well, I'm not sure what my next steps will be. It certainly won't be anything this month because I'm working against a big deadline for a trade show.
yeah.
But I'm not quite ready to give up, but it's very disheartening to see the turnout.
Yep.
Although I'm very happy that you're here, so thank you for showing up. I did bring something to do in case no one else showed up.
Yeah. You know, like any organization, there's only a few people that do it, and it's tough to pass the baton.
Yeah, a church lady once told me that there are two kinds of people in the world. There are the pillars, who hold everything up, who volunteer, who show up, and then there are the caterpillars, who go underneath and just enter. I've never forgotten that.
Yeah. Well, I wish you good luck.
Well,
I'm sorry
thanks.
I can't, you know, if I think of anything else, I'll give you a call. Any other ideas, but, you know, I think the funding could be gotten out of, and maybe not always public funds.
Yeah, the funding is part of the problem, but I know there's money. I mean, money doesn't just vanish, it's always there, it just flows differently depending on how you access it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the leadership and the participation that's going to make this work.
Yeah.
It can work on zero money if you don't want to put any into it. But another thing that is disappointing is that I believe this is worth funding. And it makes me unhappy that there isn't the enthusiasm to put money into something that's beneficial for the town.
Yeah.
It is in keeping with what I've learned about the town. Why do we need this? What do we need it for? Let's fix what we have. We don't need this. So there's a lot of resistance.
You can make a note there that if you want to make a request to the Lions Club for funding for something specific or that they would take it up at a meeting and give it consideration. You know, like, I don't know, whether the signs or the shirts or something like that, they might be willing to, because it's a community project.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe I'll get my ARPA funds after all.
Yeah, through them, yeah, maybe that is true. Because we're looking for things to do with those ARPA funds that are in the community. So that's a good possibility.
Certainly do it.
Oh, you talk about town apathy?
Mhm.
Might as well talk about that while we're on video. I cannot imagine I've been here since 1970, that we would have a school committee position on the ballot and nobody running. School committee. Now, how many parents would not say, geez, I think I'll step up, I care enough about my kids' education to get involved. Maybe they're too busy going to soccer games, I don't know. But how many people voted in the last election? There wasn't many contests.
Yeah.
120 people voted out of 3,200.
120, that's all?
Out of 3,200 registered voters.
Mm.
Ouch.
Well, that's why used to take my kids to the voting booth every single time when they were little kids. They could barely see over the counter. But
Show them how to vote.
show 'em how
Make
to
sure they
vote.
do it every year.
And in fact, Henry is going to be in Vermont in November, but he's registering to vote by mail so that he can still cast his ballot.
Yeah, we do that. Huh.
But-
Yeah, it's a right that we've had a long time and don't wanna give up.
Yeah, a friend of mine said it's my duty and my privilege. My duty, my right, and my privilege to vote.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we lost a lot of soldiers so that we could do that.
Yep. Anyhow, that's it. So
Half an hour meeting, well run.
I run a well-oiled
Crisp.
machine.
Let's